There's a quote that says, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." Bruce Lee said those words, and though he spoke them decades ago, they remain one of the most powerful truths about human potential today. Every human being wakes up with the same 24 hours. The same sun rises on the rich and the poor, the dreamer and the drifter, the leader and the follower. The same clock ticks for both the visionary and the procrastinator. Yet one man uses those hours to build, to learn, to grow, and to move closer to destiny, while another watches those same hours fade away like smoke from a candle. It's not time that separates them, it's focus. You don't lack time, you lack focus. We often say, "I wish I had more time." But what we truly mean is, "I wish I had more discipline to use the time I already have." Because the truth is, the day has never changed. It has always been 24 hours long. What has changed is how easily we lose ourselves in the noise of the world. Once upon a time, we had silence. Time to think, time to breathe, time to dream. But today we are surrounded by distraction. Our phones, our screens, our endless notifications. They all call our names like sirens, pulling our attention away from what really matters. And every time we give in, a piece of our destiny slips quietly away. Have you ever sat down to do something important and found yourself checking your phone just for a minute, only to realize an hour had vanished? You tell yourself you were just resting your mind, but deep down you know that rest is not what you needed. Focus is. The sad truth is that many of us are busy without being productive. We rush through the day doing many things yet achieving little. We fill our schedules but not our souls. We attend meetings, scroll through feeds, answer messages, and convince ourselves we are working hard. But in reality, we are running in circles. We mistake activity for advancement. We confuse motion with meaning. That's the tragedy of our generation. We have more tools than ever to achieve success, but fewer people actually reach it. Not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't gifted, but because they are distracted, because they are spread too thin, chasing too many things, listening to too many voices and trying to please too many people. It's not that you don't have time to build that dream, to learn that skill, to write that book, to start that business, or to grow that idea. The problem is that you've been scattering your energy instead of concentrating it. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, wrote about Law 23, concentrate your forces. He said, conserve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeper than by flitting from one shallow mine to another. That law alone could change your life if you understand it. You don't need more opportunities. You need to go deeper into the one already in your hands. You don't need 10 projects. You need one purpose. You don't need to do everything. You need to do what matters. Imagine the sun. When its rays are scattered, they warm the earth. But when those same rays are focused through a magnifying glass, they ignite fire. That's the power of focus. It takes the ordinary and turns it into something extraordinary. In life, the scattered person gets warm results, but the focused person sets the world on fire. So let me ask you, where is your focus right now? What are you giving your best energy to? Because wherever your attention goes, your life follows. I once knew a young man who dreamed of being a musician. He had talent, no doubt. He could sing, play instruments, and write songs that touched hearts. But he had one problem. He never focused. Every week, he chased a new idea. One day, he wanted to start a band. The next week, he wanted to become a YouTuber. A month later, he decided to start a podcast. Before long, he was tired and frustrated. He said to me, "Uncle James, maybe I just need more time." But I told him, "You don't need more time, son. You need to focus your fire. Because you can spend your life lighting matches in different places, or you can build a single flame that never goes out. Focus is not just about saying yes. It's about learning to say no. No to the noise. No to the distractions. No to the things that steal your energy without giving anything in return. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a silent no to something vital. We live in a world where everything fights for your attention. Every sound, every image, every notification is a trap designed to keep you distracted. The question is, who wins that battle every day? You or the noise? I once heard a wise man say, "Distraction is the enemy of destiny." And I believe it. Because distraction doesn't destroy you suddenly, it destroys you slowly, one wasted hour at a time. You think you're safe because you're busy. But busyness is the most dangerous form of distraction. It fools you into believing you're making progress. You wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, saying, "I'm so busy." But in truth, you're just scattered. Real productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Focus is like light. The purer it becomes, the stronger it shines. But today, most people live with their light dimmed. They give little pieces of themselves to everything and end up powerful in nothing. You can see it in their eyes, always tired, always restless, always chasing but never catching. They are pulled in 10 directions and wonder why their strength fades before noon. It's not life that is hard. It's that they are leaking energy through distraction. Every day when you wake up, a silent war begins. The war for your attention. The moment your eyes open, the world starts calling you. Messages, adverts, social feeds, and responsibilities all fight for a place inside your mind. And if you don't guard your focus, you will give the best hours of your life to things that will never remember your name. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant distractions, you harvest confusion. If you plant focus, you reap direction. The danger is that we often plant weeds and wonder why we don't get fruit. Think about this. Every second you spend in distraction is not just a lost moment. It's a seed you failed to plant in your destiny. Imagine a farmer who keeps walking from one farm to another, digging small holes, but never planting anything deep. At the end of the season, he wonders why he has no harvest. The answer is simple. He never stayed long enough in one place to grow roots. That's exactly how many people live. They start, stop, restart, and repeat, never staying long enough to master anything. They get excited easily and discouraged quickly. The moment something feels hard, they move to something new, and their life becomes a circle of unfinished beginnings. The truth is, focus requires endurance. It's not just about what you pay attention to, but how long you keep that attention alive when the excitement fades. The great achievers of this world were not always the smartest. They were simply the ones who stayed focused when others got bored. They kept digging when others left the field. When you learn to focus, you start seeing results that surprise even you. Because focus multiplies your effort. 1 hour of focused work is worth 10 hours of scattered effort. You can achieve more in a week of deep concentration than most people achieve in a month of distractions. That's the secret the world doesn't tell you. Have you ever wondered how some people manage to build massive success despite having families, commitments, and the same 24 hours as you? It's because they understand the law of concentration. They have trained their minds to stay fixed on what matters, no matter how loud the world becomes. Robert Greene said it, "Conserve your forces." To conserve means to protect your energy from being wasted on trivial things. You cannot fight every battle. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. Not every call deserves your time. Power belongs to the one who learns to choose battles wisely. When you start filtering what gets your attention, your life becomes lighter and your vision clearer. Many people can't move forward because they are carrying too much noise, too many opinions, too many fears, too many distractions. The mind becomes heavy when it's filled with junk. I once met a man who used to say, "I am always busy, but I never see results." So I asked him to write down everything he did in one day. From morning till night, he filled a page, calls, chats, errands, meetings, social media, television, and a few moments of work. Then I asked, Which of these things actually bring you closer to your dream? He looked at the list and went silent. Out of 30 activities, only 2 mattered. The rest were noise. And that's what happens to many of us. We give 90% of our time to what doesn't matter and expect 100% results from the 10% we invest in what truly counts. It doesn't work that way. Life rewards focus. Focus is not just a skill, it's a decision. The decision to direct your attention where it counts. Every morning, you choose what wins your energy. And whatever wins your energy wins your life. I remember reading about Thomas Edison. He was once asked how he managed to stay focused on his experiments when so many failed. He said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not stubbornness, that's focused persistence. He understood that his goal was not to be entertained, but to discover. That's why he became a legend. The problem today is that many people chase entertainment instead of enlightenment. They want motivation without movement, dreams without discipline, and success without sacrifice. But focus demands that you give up what feels good now for what will feel great later. You must trade momentary pleasure for lasting impact. When you focus, you offend some people. You stop replying to every message. You stop attending every event. You stop explaining your goals to people who don't share your vision. That's not pride. That's protection. You're protecting your focus. You're guarding your destiny. Because if you don't, someone else will use your time to build their dream while yours fades away. Let's face it, distraction feels good. It gives you a small hit of joy, a quick laugh, a short escape. But what it steals from you is far greater than what it gives. It steals your momentum, your clarity, your peace, and your time. And once time is gone, you can never get it back. So you must learn the art of self-control, the power to delay gratification. Because the more you feed your distractions, the hungrier they become. And soon they'll eat your future. There's a proverb that says, "The man who chases 2 rabbits catches none." The same is true for goals. You cannot build 10 dreams at once. You must pick one and give it your full fire. When you do, everything else begins to align. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you focus on each day. Instead of waking up to check messages, wake up to check your mission. Instead of scrolling through other people's lives, invest in building yours. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," start asking, "What am I doing with the time I have?" Focus gives life meaning. It turns ordinary hours into stepping stones toward greatness. Focus is a muscle. Like every muscle, it weakens when you don't use it and strengthens when you train it. The problem is, most people don't train their minds anymore. They entertain them. They feed their attention with fragments, flickers, and flashes, never allowing the mind to stay still long enough to grow powerful. You scroll through 100 posts in a minute and wonder why your thoughts can stay steady for 5. The mind mirrors what you feed it. If you keep giving it quick things, it will learn to quit quickly. But you can rebuild your focus. You can take back your attention and reclaim your time. It starts by creating silence. Real silence. The kind that feels uncomfortable at first because you're used to noise. Every time you disconnect from the world, your spirit grows stronger. You begin to hear your own thoughts again. That's where power begins. Inside quiet moments where purpose whispers. If you study great achievers, you'll see that they all have a habit of retreat. They step away from the crowd often. They go into solitude, not because they hate people, but because they must protect the flame of vision from the wind of distraction. Focus cannot survive in chaos. It needs stillness, discipline, and space to breathe. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your destiny is to log out, switch off, and look within, because the world will always be loud. But clarity only comes to those who listen in silence. I remember a story about a man named Daniel. He was a talented young designer who worked day and night but never seemed to make progress. One evening, after another exhausting week, he decided to sit alone without his phone, without music, just thinking. For the first time in years, he asked himself, "What am I really building?" The answer came quietly: noise. He realized he was chasing projects that impressed people but didn't fulfill him. That moment changed his life. He cut out half of his distractions, said no to unnecessary work, and poured his full attention into one project. Within a year, that project took him places he had dreamed about for years. It wasn't more time that changed him. It was regained focus. The hardest battle in life is not against others. It's against your scattered self. When you finally gather your thoughts, your energy, and your will around one goal, you become unstoppable. That's why most people never taste true power, because they live divided. When your focus is broken, your strength leaks through the cracks. You start things you don't finish. You plan more than you act. You dream more than you do. You promise yourself change every new year, but you fall into the same patterns, not because you are weak, but because you have not trained your attention to stay fixed on what matters. Start rebuilding it little by little. Begin with an hour of undisturbed work each day. Turn off the noise. Tell yourself, for this 1 hour, nothing else exists but my goal. Do that consistently, and you will feel your inner power return. Your thoughts will become sharper, your emotions calmer, your actions more deliberate. And once you taste the peace that comes from deep focus, distractions will start to feel cheap. You'll stop craving the quick reward because you'll know the greater joy of real progress. Discipline is not punishment. It's the pathway to freedom. When you discipline your focus, you gain control over your life. You stop reacting to every sound, every trend, every opinion. You start creating your own rhythm, your own schedule, your own world. Many people say they want freedom, but freedom without focus is chaos. Real freedom is the ability to direct your time toward what you choose, not what the world chooses for you. Let me tell you something about energy. It flows wherever attention goes. If your attention is scattered, your energy is wasted. But when your attention is single, your energy becomes creative. You start seeing solutions others miss. You start noticing patterns, opportunities, and connections that were always there but hidden behind the fog of distraction. This is why leaders, inventors, and artists often seem superhuman. They're not faster or luckier. They're simply more focused. While others split their energy across 1,000 things, they channel theirs into one masterpiece at a time. Every dream begins as a spark, but only focus turns that spark into fire. If you want to achieve something great, learn to give it your all. Half effort brings half results. A divided heart builds a divided life. Concentrate your energy until it becomes too strong to ignore. But here's the secret. Focus isn't just about hard work. It's also about heart work. You must align your heart with your task. When you love what you do, focus becomes easier. Passion is the glue that holds attention in place. That's why people who work with purpose rarely feel lost. They wake up every day with something to pour themselves into. So ask yourself, what do I love deeply enough to stay focused on? Because the truth is, if you don't choose your focus, someone else will choose it for you. The world will use your time to sell you things, entertain you endlessly, and keep you busy with what doesn't matter. But when you choose your focus, you take back control of your destiny. There's an ancient proverb that says, if your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. That means clarity brings power. When your mind is fixed on one direction, light fills your path. Confusion fades, doubt weakens. You begin to move with purpose. Every great story begins with a decision to stop being scattered and start being focused. That decision could be yours today.